question. Thank you. And so each home requires about 140 to 160,000 to build, and the funding that was provided needed to be utilized by December 31st of 2025. So 3 years to utilize that funding and do 7 homes. Easy peasy. Southeast Ohio used that funding as partial on each home, which that kind of was like an opportunity for us to go out to our community, as we do with every home build, and say, hey, we've got this starter grant, and we would love for you to help us make it happen. And so we partnered with multiple other organizations, grants, businesses, churches, individuals within Fairfield County. So the $610,000 was, again, just partial funding on each home. It wasn't used to build one home at a time, which is great.
Ask a question about that.
Yes, please.
I know that you have a relationship with a number of entities and individuals throughout the community who are supportive. I just kind of wondered if it almost gave you a chance to layer some of that support in a little differently since you had this opportunity.
Yes, it does. And it allows us to go back. I mean, in anybody you go to for funding, most everybody's going to be like, we can't be the sole entity to fund it. And so it allows us to go and show the partnership and the commitment throughout the community with each funder that we procure on these. So we worked with AAP, South Central, we've had, and you'll see some of that in the pictures that I'm going to share here soon, Thompson Concrete, Park National Bank, Fairfield Federal. I mean, it just really opens up the opportunities, especially even in the granting world, where that's usually a main question, like who else are your funders? Because they want to see that there's a larger collective coming together to make that happen. So yeah, it absolutely helped us make that happen. So let's talk about the actual impact. I'm going to give that quick history on what it was and how we intended to use that. So the funding increased our capacity to build affordable housing in Fairfield County. And the brief history, we started here in 2021, was awarded in 22. We had built 1 home at that point, and it increased our ability to go from 1 home a year to 2 a year here in Fairfield County. And then as we look into 2026, we are hoping to build 4 here in Fairfield County. Just a big undertaking, but we're going to do that. And then moving forward, minimum of 2 a year. We built 5 homes in Lancaster with this funding, 1 in Pleasantville, and 1 will be moved to Fairfield Beach soon. That's house number 7. These homes impacted 7 single moms and 13 children, ranging from ages 1 to 18. So that's pretty big, broad spectrum. And then the social return on investment. This is a study we did with the Boynevich School many years ago at OU. They took a look at everything and they put together what we call an SROI, social return on investment. And what that really is taking a look at how the social impact from every dollar spent into building the homes makes within a community. And here in Fairfield County, over the next 30 years, with this $610,000, we will see a social return on investment of $32,940,000. Significant. When you look at what social return on investment, it's not, again, just the money that's going back in, but it's looking at how it impacts those family lives from health and education, how it impacts the community, from those contributing members of society. It takes them off of almost every single family that we partner with, typically is on some kind of help from another social agency or civic agency. Maybe it's food stamps or what have you, and they come off of that, allowing another member of the community to take advantage of that and then strengthening their own economic and social wealth. So as I mentioned, each of these families also pays taxes into our community. And so we see about $3,000 a year in taxes per home or what have you. So it's not an exact number because I don't have that number, but you can do that quick math in your head. Bart's got it. I already know he does. So as I mentioned, there's a lot more to it. And we see with each home we build, the community around it, the neighborhood around it already starts to make those improvements. We have folks living next door to these homes as they're going that come out and go, oh man, my porch is looking a little dusty next to this new house, so I need to fix that up. Or I've got this roof that I was putting off for a while, but now it really is looking kind of old. So they start updating that as well. And I didn't believe it when I first started, like, surely that doesn't really happen. But I can tell you on every build, when you're driving down the street or in that neighborhood, something's always happening to another house around, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. So we see the neighborhood also improve in multiple ways. Questions on that?
Yeah. But what you just mentioned is exactly why we do the land bank.
Yes,
For that.
exactly. And our partnership with the land bank is very strong, and these individual lots that we get within each of these communities, and why we like doing those infills is because we can impact multiple communities. And we're so appreciative of that partnership as well. That allows us to get those lots and build within those areas. So you're exactly right. Now we're gonna, so this also helped us jumpstart our partnership with the Eastland Fairfield Career and Tech Construction Program. The students in that program there helped to build a home to 80% completion at the Career Center. So if you're on 33, you see this random house being built behind the building, that's us and the partnership with the school. And they're doing that roughly each school year. So it's been a new program and process for both sides. They also had some administration changes mid-build last year. So I think after this one that we get moved to Fairfield Beach, we might finally get one that's done in a full school year. And I think everybody's looking forward to that. Once they've completed their portion, they move the home to its permanent foundation via truck. It's in two pieces. If they have the ability, they get it craned onto the set, or they kind of set it right next to it, and they hand crank each piece on. It is exciting for 30 seconds and boring for several hours after, because it moves very slow. So when we first start, you're like, it's going, and now we just sit here and wait. So it's exciting and boring all at the same time. But after we get that done, we finish the build within about 4 weeks with volunteers. So the Career Center has built 2 of the 7 homes that use the ARP funding, and we continue that partnership. Questions on that?
Have you seen any or experienced any downsize in kind of prefabbing a home like that? Is there?
No. So we have no downsides to that. And in fact, outside of Fairfield County, in Athens County, there was a ton of ARP funding that had to get used up before the end of this year by other organizations that had received it. And they came to Habitat and said, hey, we've got all of this money that we don't want to give back and we want to utilize. Can you help us? And we worked with Ritzcraft out of Michigan to put 3 homes in Nelsonville that were prefab, and that helped us put 3 more families in homes before Christmas. And it's something we're going to continue doing. So we look to be doing that here probably in Fairfield County soon. They are very well done. We toured the facility. I didn't get a chance to go, but my executive director, construction director, our CR&R director, they all went to the Ritzcraft factory and walked it all and went through it and saw how it was done, and it's amazing. We also just helped the Scioto Valley Habitat for Humanity. We helped kind of project run that for them so they could get a family in here soon, and they're putting one in Circleville right by the water tower. So no downsides that we see at this point, and cost effective and quick. Once we get it in, it's 4 to 6 weeks finish up. So any questions? All right, the fun part. The homes and the families. Let's talk about our partner families that we partnered with. So in 2022, Tony Gardner was our first partner family that we worked on with this funding. And as you can see there, that's our Fairfield County Administration group that was on the build, set all the trusses that morning. It was a lot of fun, right? It was rainy, probably kind of cold. It was April. But Tony and her 2 children are in the home now. And just after the first year checking in with Tony, she was able to finish school. She was working 2 jobs, is down to 1 job now, has the ability to spend time with her 2 kids. Just nothing but all good things from Tony within the first year of being in her home. So that was a fun one. That's on Broad Street over by Maywood Mission. Dawn Banka was our second homeowner, and she's in Pleasantville on Main Street there. So when you drive right through, you can see her home. One of the fun things we do in the partnerships and what we've talked about, every other year we do a community/faith build. So it's where we pull in our churches to be a part of that. And my Fairfield United Methodist Church does a wall build every time we do this. So we build all the walls at the workforce center and move the walls if we can that day to the house and set them. So that's what happened here on Dawn's home. We built all of the walls that morning, took them over to the house and set them as a group. So that was a fun. Dawn is there in the front with bright gloves. She's also an employee over at Community Action. She helps run the Rutherford House. So a lot of tie-ins there that I love to see. And that's Randall giving her the keys there. So yeah, so Randall was giving the keys to the home. It was a fun one. And we had a lot of partners out on that one too. Lutheran Social Services, Fairfield Federal came out and helped build. So it was a good build. Kevin Chrysler, this was our first build for the Career Center. While those got flipped, but they were the right side up. That's okay. So this one was in 2023. That was the first Career Center build. So you can see there how it was being built on the temporary foundation at the Career Center. And one of the students there who was working on it, one of the few females, so I always like to highlight that. They do have a few females every year that are in the program, and it's fun to see them grow. And then we had a group out from the Canal Winchester Lions Club that came out and helped build once we moved it. I didn't have great photos of the move, otherwise we had a couple, and it was just on the truck. Wasn't that exciting. And then it was fun and rainy that day when we dedicated, so we did it on the inside, but it was great. Commissioner Levesey was there, and several others from the community. It was fun, even though it was small. Rita Harris. Oh man, these all got flipped. Okay, everybody turn your heads. No, just kidding. I don't know what happened. They were all right side up. So Rita Harris is our resource manager. This was one of our more special builds of the 7. So Rita is our resource manager. She's been with us since we were in the, we took over in 2021, but she was also with the organization prior to. So she's been with Habitat for Humanity over 10 years at this point. And she started as a volunteer, became an employee, all of that fun stuff. This was also our 150th home that we built in our organization. So it's right here on 6th Avenue. And we had a couple different groups out. We had several women in construction groups, which included folks out from the Google plant that we're building out there, Thompson Concrete, South Central Power. It was a lot of fun. And it was our first 2-story that we built here. So a lot of milestones on this home. And that's Rita and her 3 girls there. Ribbon. Kaylee Davis was our second build in 2024. And like Fairfield United Methodist Church, again, we built the walls out at the Workforce Center and then took them over. We actually took them over a week later because of weather and timing and got those built. Kaylee and her, she was actually pregnant at the time as we started building this. So Kaylee, while pregnant, was still going out and building on her home and doing all kinds of stuff to help make that happen as part of her sweat equity. So, and one of the things I love, and we captured a good picture of it, it's just sideways. Almost always when we have volunteers out or we do the wall builds or, you know, we always encourage signing the studs, leaving messages of hope, just encouragement, and that's just gonna be there forever. And I know the homeowners love to go in at the different phases of the build. It's a really fun time for them to see that all coming together, and so they will check that out. So it's great. I love that. This was a good message that was left behind, and we see several of those.
Just a question about those early years.
Yes.
Is there I don't know if repair and maintenance is the right language, but is there some relationship between Habitat and the homeowner regarding care and maintenance in the early years?
Yes. So we have a 1-year warranty on everything to begin with. And there are times we have to go back, like maybe a floor plank wasn't, we use volunteers that are skilled and unskilled for everything. And so maybe a volunteer didn't glue that floor plank down as well as it should have been or something. And we have to come back in. And yeah, so number one, we have that 1-year warranty, but then we also really try to ensure as we go through the build, we're teaching some of that home maintenance. And then we have started, a year ago, we've had it in place, but we finally got the program running. We have a training center in Athens that we finally have all the homeowners going through, and it's maintenance and home repair care. So how to reset a toilet, how to redo some plumbing if you need to. It's very basic, nothing you need a license for or anything. And then, like I said, throughout the build, we try to teach that. But we always, because we hold the mortgage, that helps maintain the relationship. And usually the homeowners develop a pretty good relationship with the site supervisor. And so sometimes they're just calling up Robert like, hey, I don't remember what you told me how to do this or that. And he's like, I got you, no worries. And I'll just kind of take care of that. So yes, we try to maintain that relationship as much as possible. Great question. King Street, this is our most recent. We dedicated this in November, I believe, of this year. It's on King Street. And it's our second two-story here in Lancaster. Went very well. And you can see the one group there in the black t-shirts of South Central Power. They were out a couple different times. We also had a men's group from First Presbyterian that meets every Tuesday with each other. And Bob Heath, I'm sure several of you know Bob Heath. If you don't know Bob, you're missing out on something, I'm telling you. Great man. So he brought his Tuesday group. He's like, we want a whole day just for ourselves. And he came back a couple times. So it was good to see them out there. And then that's Shane from Crown Corp and Seal. He helped gave the key. We got a new key. So we were doing like little key presentations and you couldn't see it because big, and so we got a new key, and it's this big, wonderful key that just says welcome home. And so now the key presentation is this big key.
Is it hard to put in your pocket?
Yeah, it's not easy to put on a keychain, but it's heavy too. So it was a really fun build, and we got Shalyn and her family in. That's Shalyn, is how you say that? It's crazy. Shalyn and her two kids are in, and we're able to spend Christmas there. And it was really fun for them.
Company was that one.
No. The unfortunate incident of tools being stolen was back in 23. It was on the 150th home. It was Rita's. Yeah. So we had that was fun. But our justice system did a great job of finding, catching, and we are getting the restitution from that gentleman. So yay, everyone in Fairfield County. Great job. And that was of the help from the community. And Rita, who was her house, she stayed on it like a bulldog. She was like, I got information over here and I'm checking in. Are you doing it? So she was all about it. But yeah, and we actually had other community members that stepped up after that happened and gave us some extra grant money to repurchase all the tools. It was about a $15,000 loss. Yeah. So, but we had multiple individuals and a couple other organizations that stepped up and said, hey, we want to help you refill that trailer. And in no time, we were back up and running. So. And last but not least for this year and this funding, maybe, did it go? Went there, but it didn't go here. Okay. The Career Center, this is the 2526 Beaver Road, Fairfield County, Fairfield Beach. This is the one that's out there right now. I haven't gotten an updated photo. It's getting ready to move. So it's in much further progress than this here, but I wanted to show you the students that were working on it. And, we meet with that organization almost weekly to see how they're doing, how it's going. They had an administration change in the actual program. So the teacher changed mid-year of this project. And the guy that is now in place, his name is Michael Scott, which I love. He's amazing, cannot wait to learn and do it all. But he was their chemistry teacher for a while. So it's an interesting changeover. He's doing a great job and just has a real heart for not only making sure the kids are getting the education they need to get, but that the partnership is strong and moving forward. So we're looking forward to moving this home hopefully soon, and we'll be welcoming volunteers very shortly. As I mentioned, moving forward into 2026, we have 4 homes that we're looking to build. The first one will start in April on Locust. It's 1237 Locust Street, and then we are looking to do 2 on Ohio Avenue this summer, starting in June, and another Career Center build that will go to Fairfield Beach again after. tax bill next year. Questions?
I was wanting to mention an article to you I saw recently. I don't know the date of the article, but I just saw it recently. But anyway, it was a massive machine, but it was a robot that built a house in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the economies of that. I assume the robot costs $1 million.
Probably.
Built one
There probably
house.
was an engineer that needed some
Yeah,
kind of
but
special
anyway,
license. to run
It's interesting to see things like that, but
Yep.
thank you for your presentation, and I'm always good to see you and hear what you're doing here. I'll see if my colleagues have any questions. Commissioner Fix.
I don't have any questions, just want to mention that your energy, enthusiasm, and positivity continues to make a really significant positive impact on people's lives, and
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Levis.
Yeah, I don't have any questions either, but, it's so heartwarming and interesting and all the above to go to when you actually, so to speak, see some of the recipients of your hard work and what it all comes to. It's also interesting because I went to the zoning hearing on the Fairfield Beach home, and there was some pushback, quite frankly, and I think there was almost a misconception of what a habitat house would mean for the community. I think it's just the opposite. And have you seen any of that?
Yeah, we have. And, even just when we first start the homes, we have a lot of neighbors that love to come out and give their opinions, which we welcome because it gives us the opportunity to educate and provide the proper information that they may not be realizing. And so, we do hear that. We hear like, oh no, we don't want another head home in here. And then that gives us the opportunity to have the education conversation of like, this isn't our home, this isn't well funded. And, this is what we're doing in the community. This is going to become a homeowner. It's not, it's different. And so we do run into that here and there. I know Ken was at that meeting, the zoning meeting, and really tried to make sure that he provided the best education we could. And, we as much as it's not fun to go through, we don't mind it because again, it gives us the chance to set the record straight, if you will. And then hopefully they go back to their other neighbors and friends and pass that on. So, up there was our socials and our contact and everything. And I'm more than happy if anybody ever wants to sit down and have coffee and talk about habitat. I welcome it. So we can answer those questions. And yeah.
Commission, we really appreciate your update. We'll look forward to this.
Thank you. Yes. And on behalf of Habitat for Humanity, we cannot continue to do the work we do without the partnerships we have from pretty much every single person in this room we've worked with in some capacity. And so we are so grateful. I know I am so grateful. And this is my favorite county. I know it's probably going to go on record. I don't care. Of the 8 that we cover. And so I'm very happy to call this place.
Speaking of which, the commission is aware that you have other obligations.
Thank you.
That can excuse you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you again.
Thanks,
This time, the commission sets aside an opportunity for voters or taxpayers to address the commission. If you would like to do so, please approach the podium and begin with your name and residential address. We do have a 3-minute rule, which we would appreciate your courtesy on. If you forget that, I'll be happy to remind you. Under those terms and conditions, does anybody would like to address the commission at this time? We thank you all for coming. Good morning.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is that the full extent of your report?
That's it.
All right, well, we appreciate you being here. Administration update.
Thank you, Commissioner. The review packet does contain a list of administrative approvals, and there are 21 resolutions on the agenda for the regular voting meeting. 12 of the resolutions on the agenda are for appropriations or other financial obligations. We do have one from Economic and Workforce Development to extend the contract with Hicks Partners for grant writing and technical assistance for Fairfield County villages, townships, cities, and county agencies. Rick, you want to expand on that at all?
Yeah. So
done this now for 3 years. This is our 4th year. We've got great feedback from our townships and villages. Support that it gives them, places like Baltimore and support. I'm appreciative and have said they would not be able to advance that. Basically, the ROI is still there. Grant opportunities have declined over this past year, and continue to keep a close eye on that. This is a contract we can't get out of if we continue. But it works. It's everybody's grant opportunities are slow across the country, but we're still keeping an eye on that, and especially the LA side of that's from folks around fire.
So if I may, we continue to get tremendously positive feedback from townships and villages and others about this program. And do we have I know we had a running total. Do we have a running total of?
Circle back to you.
Billion.
What'd you say, John? No. All right, moving on. The engineer's office has 2 resolutions to approve the drawing and advertisement for the Hamburg Road Bridge Replacement Project. And they also have a resolution for a revised bridge load rating for the Kumler Road Bridge and a resolution to allow 26 weight reductions on county and township roads. JFS has 3 resolutions on the agenda to approve service agreements, and the Treasurer's Office has a resolution to approve an online payment solution service agreement with Auto Agent Data Solutions, LLC. This agreement provides online and in-person electronic payment options, including debit cards, credit cards, and electronic checks. Michael, you want to add to that?
We currently use Point and Pay. It's a different company that does that. We're just making it. We'll eventually make a change with the Treasurer's Office. First to come online now will be the Recorder's Office and the Sheriff's Office, who don't currently accept credit cards. So they'll go to Auto Agent first. But Auto Agent just provides the taxpayer, we think, a better service at the same price that they were ordinarily paying. And that also gives the Treasurer the opportunity to direct their payments better than we had with better.
So will the folks that are on Point and Pay move to Auto Agent then?
It'll be optional. Yeah. JFS has had some contact with us. It doesn't matter to the Treasurer's Office. It's handled the same way either way. Treasurer's Office will end up making the change probably after the first half collection. So we don't disrupt our payment, tax payment season at all, but it'd be everyone else can have that option.
Yes, so the running total is $3,961,000, just shy of one. Last year was $527,000. We still have 20 applications outstanding right now with 1.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, budget review. All right, thank you. Rochelle, calendar review and invitations received, please.
All right, thank you. The Millerport Business Group has a meeting tomorrow, January 21st at 8:30 a.m. at the American Legion in Millerport. The Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Agency has a board meeting January 22nd at 11:30 a.m. at the Recycling Center. The Canal Winchester Chamber will have their annual awards night titled Denim and Diamonds on February 27th at 6 p.m. at the Brewdog Tap House in Canal Winchester. Fairfield County Board of Development Disabilities will host their Celebration of Possibilities on March 25th at 6 p.m. at the Crossroads Event Center in Lancaster. And the Governor's 45th Annual Holocaust Commemoration is April 13th at 11 a.m. in the State House Atrium at 1 Capitol Square in Columbus. That is all I have.
All right, thank you, Rochelle. That's all, Commissioner.
All right, thank you, Ani. Michael, what's going on at the Treasurer's Office?
It's a little stressful. At this point, we did send out tax bills last Tuesday. They were mailed. We do understand, though, that if it's stressful for our people, it's even more so for the taxpayer. So we keep reiterating to our staff that they need to be patient and handle all questions. stability and everything like that with taxpayers. When we did send out tax bills, some tax bills went to some taxpayers, and it may be some people here who don't ordinarily receive tax bills. If people mortgage or have a mortgage and they escrow their taxes through their mortgage, some tax bills went to some of those individuals, and they have caused a little bit of confusion for everybody, and we're trying to deal with that as best as possible.
So can I ask a question on that?
Yep.
So somehow the escrow agent is made aware of how much the taxes are, right?
Right.
So do they also receive that statement?
Yes.
And in this hiccup, did they go out to two different sources, or did they just go to the wrong source?
They would go to two different sources. Usually, the escrow companies will receive it electronically as opposed to actually being mailed.
But we have no indication that the escrow companies don't have the information.
Exactly. Yeah. We send that directly from our office to the, there's large escrow companies. One of them is CoreLogic. They handle it for a number of mortgage payers. So we do, our message to the taxpayers continues to be, if you have a mortgage and you escrow your taxes, that'll be taken care of through the mortgage company. Just like usual, the tax bill that you received has an awful lot of good information on it. We'd like everybody to at least review it, take a look at it, just move on.
And just a question, and other folks may have a similar question, but somebody sent me their tax bill and they, a picture of it saying, why am I getting this? I'm escrow, But what I noticed on there is the first half and the second half numbers on that tax bill were exactly the same. And I know some people have been advised that the second half may not be exactly the same as the first half.
Right.
What are people to make of that?
As of right now, we don't know exactly what the difference will be. We haven't been told, I think from the state level, exactly what any kind of credits that anybody will be receiving. So what we do on our tax bill is we take the known information and we basically divide it by half. If there is a credit moving on, then that'll be accounted for in the second half bill when people receive their second half bill. If somebody pays their full year, which some people do, quite a few people pay their full year at the beginning of the year, then there will be an additional credit. If there is an additional credit from the state level, that'll be accounted for either next year or they can request a refund.
Sure, we're going to come back to that, but in the short term here, I'm going to see if either of my colleagues have questions on these issues. All right.
Just one other lighter note, this coming Thursday, Susan Dixon is retiring effective January 31st or January 30th from the Treasurer's office. We will be having a little reception for her here in the Commissioner's hearing room Thursday from 1 to 3.
And is her replacement on the football pool lined up yet, or?
On that portion, maybe not, but we'll find somebody.
Meeting with my vendor tomorrow. He'll be here coming hours as we do a review of some of the changes that we're anticipating coming in 2026. Also, I want to take a moment to thank the Treasurer's Office for facilitating the contract with Auto Agent and doing all the resolution paperwork. We're looking forward to being able to offer the credit card payments to our customers very soon. So I really appreciate all of that. That for just business as usual. Hoping to see mortgage rates drop a little bit, get a little bit of refis coming in.
I don't know. I don't have a prediction for you on that, but I'll see if my colleagues, Commissioner, Hicks, questions.
No, we're good. Thank you.
Commissioner Leslie? All right. Thank you for being with us.
Dr. Brown.
Good morning. First thing I'd like to do is thank the Records Commission for their approval of the Joint Economic Development District records policies that will allow things to be very smoothly for them. So thank you for that. We'll be providing that information to them later today. Relating to property tax reform, you do have the just the facts summary relating to that particular reform. And there's effective dates that vary based upon those particular reforms. The first reform that you'll see will be the second half tax credit. Now, that's a specific credit. What it relates to is House Bill 186, and that's where the revenue growth that would be caused by that 20 mil floor adjustment will be capped to inflation. That will show up as a specific credit in the second half tax bill. There are other changes that are good reform, but it has different effective dates. First one relates to House Bill 335. That particular one is for the cap of inflation for inside millage growth for other districts, that 10 mil maximum. That's not effective until the next update, the next reappraisal. For Fairfield County, that's 2028. Has not changed with the schedule that the Department of Taxation recently updated. So there's nothing retroactive about that. In other words, there is some conversation over the weekend that, well, the Budget Commission can just reduce rates, now take care of everything that people are experiencing right now. They do not have the authority to do that. And there's nothing that has to happen for the 335 to go into effect in 28. Nobody has to file anything. It's somewhat automatic. It's different than the credits. It's a change to the rates. And that'll cap those portions to inflation. So you can confidently say that reappraisals in the future will not result in spikes. Those spikes are eliminated going forward. That's 335. Then there's 309. 309 gives some authority to budget commissions to reduce rates if the amounts that are produced by the rates, whether it's voted, speaking to everything that's voted, if it's shown to be necessary and shown to be not excessive, the commission has justification to keep it as is. The political subdivision, every single time, everywhere, you have to demonstrate that it is necessary, that it is not excessive. And there are definitions relating to that. That also is effective in future tax years, with the first one being tax year 2026 for payments in 2027. What does that mean? How is that going to actually play out? It'll play out in more years, where political subdivisions and agencies will be coming before the Budget Commission to demonstrate that their current rates are needed going forward. It isn't something that can be done right now. There is no authority for a Budget Commission, even if they feel like this way, that they want to reduce the rates. There's no authority to arbitrarily reduce it because they think taxes are too high. So we're looking forward. And there's, again, I mentioned that there is no change in the schedule. One thing you can be confident about with the reform, whether could hope and pray that it would have been earlier rather than later. There is that sort of sense that the tax bills will be lower in the future than without the reform. So it's good reform. But when people say it didn't go far enough, what they're really saying is that it would happen sooner so that it would affect this current period as opposed to future periods. I'm going to pause for a minute, see if anybody has any questions about that. It's stated in plain language, but there's a lot of confusion, and some are thinking, well, just let the Budget Commission reduce, and that's not how that works.
So I can tell you I had a meeting with the Fairfield County Conservative Group last week, and talked for 10 minutes about, all the things that commissioners do, and then spent the next 40 minutes talking about property taxes, right? Seems that that's, foremost on everybody's mind. And there is a tremendous amount of misunderstanding out there about, why property taxes are going up numbers that haven't been seen before. And just I don't want to say panic, but it's down that path, right? Where people are really freaking out about, number of people in that room are seniors, and they're really concerned about losing their homes because they can't afford to pay the property taxes. So yes, expressing appreciation for the way you've broken it down and continue to communicate about it, and encouraging more and more and more of that, and more of your outstanding lobbying at the State House to push the ball further down the road, because you're right. What we've done is it's a good start, but it's got to be more.
Respect to senior citizens, it is pretty much the group that we hear the most from, senior citizens on fixed incomes. A very common comment is that the homestead program means tested income, that limit is too low. It should be much higher to include more seniors in that exemption. That's different than saying the exemption itself needs to change. It's just including more to be able to participate in that exemption. That's a legislative action. The other aspect that we hear is that there would be a preference that there be a type of program where if you have lived in your home for an extended period of time and you're a senior citizen, say, I'm just going to throw a number out, doesn't necessarily have to be this number, but you're in your home for 20 years, that the foreclosure option would not be available for the non-payment of taxes. That's also a common comment. And those would be legislative items. In addition to that, as I think about that summary, you can be confident that going forward, the spikes are eliminated. You can be confident that those bills will be less than they would have been otherwise. But there is an expectation that there will be more levies on the ballot just based upon how the legislation is formed now. Those will go to the ballot more often because they won't have the increases except for inflation, as an example. In addition, over the weekend, there's been a lot of comments about, so I can see on my property tax bill that this amount goes to a school, this amount goes to various county entities, and break that down a little bit more for me. I can look at 24 tax year 25 collections and upwards of, 56%. In some areas it's 60 or 61, but in the aggregate, 56% are for schools. 15% go collectively to townships, 13% to county entities that are voted, 5% to general fund. And that is accommodating about 89 to 90% of the whole. And then the remaining would be municipalities, JFF, joint vocational schools, other things that other districts. So it is by far and large school districts. Of course, this is something that everybody knows, but it becomes more obvious when you start breaking it down in these types of conversations. While we're talking about property tax reform, right now going on are the CAUV applications. It's a very, big tax reduction program for Fairfield County. About 62% of the acreages is in the CAUV program. And, that's an important aspect, and those applications are going out right now. There's a second deadline to give a little more time. But it's about $75 per acre that's reduced. So, on average, about $2,700 of a reduction. And that's very significant for certain parcels. So I mentioned that right now because it's related to this particular conversation. While that area of the work is part, the other area of our work is our financial reporting, and I want to say thank you to Messina Clark in particular for working very quickly through a number of different partners to have the annual financial information statement updated for bond issues. And thanks to everybody for meeting the deadlines that we request for financial reporting, because there's a lot here at the end of the year.
Thank you, Dr. Quinn. Amy. Yeah, maybe you and I could grab a moment after the meeting. Tony, you're looking good, buddy.
Hey. It's a good looking outfit you got on today.
Connie and I met with Corpsey and we're going to talk about this. Corpsey is hopefully getting authority from the Ohio EPA to look at the area-wide wastewater facility planning. Some of that that's in here and I want to talk to Ani about is taking authority away from the commissioners that have the authority right now. So just giving you a heads up. The counties that they're anticipating, you have Franklin, Union, Delaware, Licking, and us. None of them are like us. Franklin, quite honestly, doesn't have any service areas. Union, has very little. Marysville's there. Licking County doesn't have a wastewater utility, and then Delaware does, but they're so grown out there in the southern part of the county. So it affects us differently than it's going to affect the other counties. Connie and I'll talk about it. I'm sure she'll have questions how I move forward with commenting to those. Just give me that.
Okay, and I think I can speak for my colleagues, who would probably like to be kept briefed on that issue.
Yeah, MORPC is acting as a convener to try to bring together these organizations and find a solution. So they're on kind of their information sharing and gathering tour right now.
So I'm, we all love the idea of having solutions, but first we make sure we'd like to understand the problem that we're solving. What's that?
So the 208 plan is what every utility puts in. And for instance, out in the northwest corner of the county, you have the city of Columbus that overlaps my 208, which overlaps Winchester, which overlaps Frederick. EPA's done nothing about it, just took all the information from everybody. Much like Thurston and Baltimore, which overlapped, and then put in a PTI permit to install a water or sewer line. All they do is look at that 208 area and say, yeah, it's in their 208 area, I'll approve the plans. Well, if they overlap, they can put in a permit to install, and you'll never know that, hey, Thurston already has a water line there, and we're putting the.
Or they will know, and they'll do it on purpose anyway.
Good. So this is to separate that. But it goes a little bit further. It gives them the full authority. But right now, it's kind of your authority. It gives them the authority. So you would have to go in front of Morpsey's board. So anyway, to say, hey, this parcel right here, we want to put it in our service area, and it's currently not. So then you'd have to go through this process that they said.
So I sit on the MORPC board, and we've been talking about this, and basically the problem is that the EPA is not doing its job. So there are 208 plans that are all over the place, and as a result, villages and counties and municipalities all are trying to claim territory for their utility. And it's been messy up in my part of the county for 30 years, maybe more. It's getting messy in Thurston and Baltimore, and there are other places that as we grow, different utilities are going to want to claim that territory, and it's like the Wild West, right? So that's the problem. I'm not sure that Morpsey's proposing or talking about is the perfect answer. Maybe for some counties, not for us. Whatever is put together, I'm going to continue to encourage Morpsey to make it an opt-in program.
And if I understand correctly, though, in order for Morpsey's proposal to become effectuated, that would be a legislative. They would be lobbying for a change in the law.
Yeah, well, that's one of the questions that I have in here is how are they taking the commissioner's authority and putting it into this? That's a question I have for them. But they would get authority from the governor, basically saying that they take that authority from the Ohio EPA and give it to Morpsey. These 5 counties. And I don't know how they would get away from the 6117 authority that commissioners.
I understand. But as I say, I think we would all like to be kept pretty tight on that.
Just getting you the first.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Rick, good morning.
Good morning. So, I'm sure Commissioner Levesey will touch on this, but Saturday we got to spend some time in Millersport, talking about the data center with part of the Bucket Lake Regional Corporation meeting. And I just, one of the great things about that, and hear a lot of negative things about data centers, is how transparent Vantage has been with it, and also the benefits that are bringing to the community. And there was numerous questions, and it's great to have that dialogue. That's what we think, because to your point earlier, there's a lot of confusion about separate things, different things, and when the community wants to engage and asking questions, where they're going to answer it is makes such a
Can we stay on data centers for a second? So the commissioners, I think we all, I know I got a letter. What's that? Got a letter from Attorney Dan Fruth, apparently representing some landowners in the area of the Google data center regarding its possible theoretical planned, I'm not sure, expansion. I don't think we have a role in that. And I just wanted to make sure if you're aware of a role that we do have.
We do not have a role that I'm aware of. Maybe some station or something in the future that could come about, but typically that's something that we're just having authority to
I think it was primarily directed to the city, but it just, we got included. So I just got to make sure I understood our role or lack thereof.
I'm going to communicate with you and I. Okay. Just to make sure that we close that loop.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Lutt, I'm going to let you continue in just a moment. Commissioner Lutt.
So I thank Rick for attending because, it's we have the Buckeye Lake region meetings periodically that then we'll move to different areas. And I thought the data center discussion was on everybody's mind. And Rick had to go to sleep, so he took time out of his day to come. So I appreciate Rick being there to answer a lot of questions because there was a lot of interest in that. And with Tony being involved with the development of Northport new wastewater system, water and sewer is probably going to be a $50 million project, which is mind-blowing, quite frankly. But also, to add a little bit to that, Tony, you may want to keep this consideration as you go forward. One of the big consideration is the water that's going to be returned to basically the lake in about 500 to 600,000 gallons per day. Will have a higher temperature, higher salt content, and so on and so forth. And whether that can be mitigated in some way where temperature will be reduced because it affects aquatic life, and the salt, of course, has its issues. And I understand that data centers may have some exemptions in that regard. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But again, as we treat the water, whether we can do it in an effective manner where it's done in a very effective manner to not affect the lake in a negative amount.
So the data center will have staging areas where they'll cool the water down before it gets to the wastewater plant. And then the TDS is something that we're working through to see what that movement can be for. That's mainly all they're going to give us is it's clean water except for the TDS. So they're going to run it through some of their treatment before it comes to the plant tubes.
I think you could affect that discussion because, coming through our facility, so to speak.
Yeah. So there is a draft permit out there where it's not happening in this instance, but where data centers can discharge to streams and not take it through a wastewater plant. It right now that they're drafting up allows them to discharge some wastewater plants are left in the district.
I wish you'd continue to work on that because I think that's probably one of the most interesting parts of the discussion.
There were a lot of questions on that, but part of what their concern was just they wanted to make sure people were looking.
Thank you.
They should be doing the aquifer testing there shortly, so. Yes, find that there's enough water there.
Where we kind of took the data center off ramp is in the middle of Rick's presentation.
Just a couple things on the workforce side. Busy week with a couple of things. So on our workforce board side, I have a meeting in Marietta with Lieutenant Governor Tressel for some work that we're going to be doing down there. And then on Monday in Columbus for us in partnership with Franklin County, our workforce board covers Appalachia and part of the Columbus region. So we kind of switch between both, but be good to continue to show off the good things we're doing here. And the Central Ohio Manufacturing Partnership will be coming to the Workforce Center for their quarterly meeting this Thursday. And that's a group of manufacturers, education providers, workforce folks from throughout Central Ohio, about 50, 60 people that attend these. And they were here about 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm looking for them to be pleasantly surprised at all of the wonderful new things that
I'm coaches.
Just happy to report we're making progress down at the drive-through to assist the treasurer's collection there. And hopefully they'll be able to collect first week of February in that. The delay, but last we're there.
GFS.
Oh, yeah, and of course, child support back in. I've been communicating with their staff as well.
All right, thank you, sir. Dan?
Nothing to note for today. I would just give kudos and thanks to John and his team. They replaced ceiling tiles in a portion of the building. Appreciate it. But also, we've had a number of projects at the building over the last year or so, and they've been tremendous to work with. They always make sure that they minimize the impact of our staff and customers. Appreciate that.
And Bart, you're all good, right? Yes, sir. Okay. Garrett, United Way, how are you doing today?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. Pay just crossed 900,000 go. Still sitting in the low 900,000s. Still waiting on a few reports to come in from United Way of Central Ohio and some other corporations that are still yet to put in their budgets for this year. So hoping inching our way towards $1 million. Anything above that, we're not sure about at this point. Otherwise, we started scheduling for our free tax program. Free tax preparation for anyone that makes under $69,000 a year or is over the age of 60. They can just call in, and we actually have online scheduling this year, so that's a nice upgrade for us. And we have the polar plunge coming up on February 1st. We'd love to see you there. And Commissioner, I'd love to see you'd be happy to know that with the new newborn enrollment program, Dolly's numbers are jumping every month now. So we're seeing a higher percentage of eligible children in the county enrolled in that program. So, and we're hoping that as time goes on, it's just going to keep increasing. So doing well with that.
Just to take up there on something Garrett mentioned, if you haven't ever had an opportunity to be at the polar plunge, even if you're not one of the ones jumping into the freezing water, what an event, an enjoyable social experience, helping United Way and seeing people and do things maybe they shouldn't do, you know, it's fun.
Are you jumping this year?
It's to be determined. Commissioner.
Nikki, you want to talk to Nikki?
Yes, sir.
You want to talk to?
Don't know, Nikki. Heavy.
Hi. So the Soil and Water Conservation District has announced our tree seedling sale that we do every year. Checker cash deadline is March 6th. Online ordering is March 19th deadline, and then pickup will be at the Ag Center
We'll do a drive-through around the back like we've been doing since COVID. That date is April 10th. So if you would like to get some baby trees, go to our website, fairfieldswcd.org.
Anything?
Heather?
No, Commissioner Fix made eye contact with me earlier and was laughing that I was smiling because I'm sitting here trying to smile like Tiffany so I could get recognized by Commissioner Davis. Paying attention, so.
Sure, thanks.
So old business, I mentioned that had an opportunity to speak with the group on Wednesday. And, to, I think, Rick's point about getting out, Dr. Brown's point about getting out, and the more we can talk to people who have questions, don't really understand, a particular topic. It's hard for me to understand property taxes, and I work on this stuff every day. So, regular citizens probably really don't get that understanding, but being able to talk them through what's already been done and what's being proposed and what the county is doing really helps allay some fears. And I imagine same with the data center. So just, continue to push to get out there. And it's uncomfortable to stand in front of a group of people who are angry, but it's our job.
So, last week, had the opportunity to, I'm a board member of, the governor's, workforce group. Lieutenant Governor Tressel leads that group. And it was a very good meeting. Continuing to work on areas that is very near to Rick's heart, so to speak, with training, and they would like to try to, in some regard, take that to all levels and incorporate it more in some of the four-year colleges that we're not seeing. And but it just a lot of good work going on continuing throughout the state, and I hope that the end of this year will. And it next we'll have a new administration, and I hope they continue the same work that they've started, because very effective in providing job skills for a lot of those who are desperately needed within the workforce. I think Ohio is number 3 in manufacturing, and I expect that to continue to grow, and then also technology. So a lot of good work. Interesting meeting.
Yeah, so I apologize for having to step out. When my bookie calls, I got to take that call. And so I want to make sure to follow up with him. No, I was just making a joke.
I know.
Did you guys book too old? So let's move on to new business. First, Commissioner Levis.
Yeah, so I look forward to touring Diamond Park today. As a very young person, I remember that being built in back in the 50s, and I've never been in the building, so I look forward to that. Yeah, have you not?
I worked there.
Oh, did you? Okay. I remember an interesting story. Robert Haft, I don't know if anybody remembers Robert, but he was the designer as a high schooler of the 50-star flag. And he worked down prior to time, where he was told that he was working on the floor, and he was called to the front because he had an important phone call. With the phone call was then President Eisenhower telling him that he had been chosen, his design had been chosen for the 50-star flag. So just a little interesting part of history, if you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fix on new business.
Yeah, so later today, we have the opportunity to meet with the group that's been working on a potential mega site, about 33, to move that work forward, and also meeting with Greenfield and Lancaster, trying to get Cooperative Economic Development Agreement done. Those meetings are voted positive and that we're, moving the ball forward as far as development here in Fairfield County. And I will say that next Tuesday, while you all are here freezing your butts off, I will be enjoying the warm weather of Key West. You have a great meeting without me.
I appreciate your referring to our butts as little. That's very kind of you. Enjoy your trip. On new business, I have been in Diamond Power once before. When I was young, some buddies and I thought it would be a good idea to go out back with Diamond Power and steal their woods that they had stacked up for our tree house. And we got caught by security, and so we got brought into their security office, so I got to see that room.
Gary, you just have proud moment after proud moment. I heard that one.
Even Garrett had heard that.
So we had to return all the stolen wood and got yelled at a little bit. It was funny, they were Pinkerton security officers that rounded us up. And so when they asked for my name, I told them my name was Steve Pinkerton. They didn't believe me. But anyway, happy to be back. Any other issue item? Hearing none, please rise if you're able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michelle, do we have any announcements?
I would just like to remind everyone that 2 weeks from today, on February 3rd, our meeting will be at 6 p.m. in this room instead of our typical night.
All right. Yeah, moving on to the approval of minutes for January 13th, 2026.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion. Second discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Rochelle.
From the Commissioners, Resolution 2026-1.20.a, a resolution to appropriate from unappropriated a major expenditure object category for Home Project Income Fund 2591.
The Commissioners, I move items A and B.
Second.
Discussion. Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From the Fairfield County Board of Elections, Resolution 2026-1.20.c, a resolution to appropriate from unappropriated in a major expenditure object category for Board of Elections Fund 2861 Cybersecurity.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. For Fairfield County Court of Common Pleas, Resolution 2026-1.20.d, a resolution to appropriate from unappropriated in a major expenditure object category for Common Pleas Court Fund 2689 Adult Corrections Grant.
Under Common Pleas Court, I move items D and E.
Second.
Discussion. Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. For Fairfield County Economic and Workforce Development, Resolution 2026-1.20.f, a resolution to authorize an amendment to the agreement for grant writing services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. For Fairfield County Emergency Management Agency, Resolution 2026-1.20.g, a resolution authorizing an EME fund-to-fund transfer.
For Fairfield County Emergency Management, I move items G and H.
Second.
Discussion. Call the roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From Fairfield County Engineer, Resolution 2026-1.20.i, a resolution to request for appropriations for additional unanticipated receipts and memo expenses for Fund 2050 for annual inspections, repairs, and maintenance in various subdivisions as of 12/31/2025.
For Fairfield County Engineer, I move items I, J, K, L, and M.
Second.
Discussion? Let's call a roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From Fairfield County Job and Family Services, Resolution 2026-1.20.n. A resolution to approve a memo expense memo receipt for the cost of bus passes paid to Lancaster Fairfield Public Transit as a memo expenditure for Fund Number 2072 Public Children's Services.
For Fairfield County Job and Family Services, I move items N, O, P, and Q.
Second.
Discussion? Let's go to roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From the Fairfield County Sheriff, Resolution 2026-1.20.r. A resolution to authorize the establishment of a new fund for the Fairfield County Sheriff.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Let's go to roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From South Central Major Crimes Unit, Resolution 2026-1.20.s. A resolution to appropriate from unappropriated a major expenditure object category for Major Crimes Unit Fund 2892 American Rescue Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Let's go to roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. From the Fairfield County Treasurer, Resolution 2026-1.20.t. A resolution authorizing the approval of an online payment portal solution service agreement between Auto Agent Data Solutions, LLC, the Fairfield County Treasurer, and the Board of Fairfield County Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Started. Further discussion? Let's go to roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. Payment of bills, Resolution 2026-1.20.u. A resolution authorizing the approval of payment of the vouchers without appropriate carryover purchase orders and the cash disbursement for all departments that are approved by the Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Please call to roll.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis? Motion passes 3-0. The next regular meeting is scheduled for January 27th at 9 a.m.
Well, Commissioners will be accepting a couple of invitations today. As Commissioner Levesey mentioned earlier, we get an opportunity to visit Diamond Power, 1 o'clock, and then we've got an opportunity to go to a new development that's up and coming a little bit later at 1 o'clock. Other than that, is there any other issue item that anybody'd like to bring attention to the commission today?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. The motion carries. The commission is adjourned. We thank you all for coming.